What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and today is Rumourville. Yes, I am taking a walk down Leek Street, if that's a place, and I want to get into the OPPO X8 Ultra. There are a lot of rumours floating around, however, not much is confirmed. So, through my experience and digging, I am going to give my take on what you can expect from the flagship OPPO device. Let's go. Now, if you're new to the channel, I am the Average Dad and I review, well, almost every phone, certainly every flagship and foldable phone from the Asian and global markets. Yes, my channel has over 600 videos dedicated to helping you choose the right device. And only but 6 months ago, I opened my own tech store. We have now surpassed over 1,500 orders, making us the largest selling import company in the UK and Europe when it comes to Chinese ROM foldable phones. So if you are looking for a new device, please be sure to check out there. But I always tell people, do your research, and if you can find a better price through Wanda, Gizstop, Trade in Shenzhen, let me know and I will try my very best to match or even beat it. Now, I also want you to stay tuned because we are only 3 days away from the phone giveaway. Yes, I am giving away a phone of your choice from the Average Dad Tech Store. Simply just sign up through Buy Me a Coffee, but I'll give you all the details near the end of the video. So, the OPPO. For context, OPPO released the X7 Ultra almost a year ago. I think it was January 2024 I reviewed it, so we're looking at about 11 months ago now, and still to this day I recommend this phone to, 3 or 4 people a week. They're looking for a flagship phone with a nice Quad HD display and an epic camera system, and that is what the OPPO X7 Ultra gives you. Recently, within the past week, I also reviewed and now stock the OPPO X8 Pro global version. And this device just gave me utter hope that if OPPO released the Ultra version globally, it could be an absolute game changer. And I guess that's the first thing I want to answer, debate. Will it come global? OPPO have a habit of skipping a year. If we look at the OPPO X3, it got a global release. The OPPO X5 got a global release. Then with the first X7, while there was a global release for the standard, there was no Pro and there was no Ultra global release. However, I do think, and don't hate me if I'm wrong, trust me, nobody wants me to be right more than you, I do think the OPPO X8 Ultra will come globally. So hurrah for that. ColorOS 15, Android 15 out the box, Google Gemini integration, OPPO's own AI stuff, the software. In my recent X8 Pro review, I gave ColorOS 4.5 out of 5 in terms of software. If the Ultra can get global as well, yeah, happy man. And while we're at it, we may as well discuss the release date. When you go ahead and Google and research anywhere about the X8 Ultra, the most specific date you're going to get is spring. Yeah. And ironically, I don't even think that's correct. Unless your spring begins in January, for me that's still winter, because that's when it's going to come. I'd be absolutely shocked if OPPO did not release the X8 Ultra, particularly in the Chinese market, because it will be there first. I think that'll come in January. The last week of January to be even more specific. And the reason I say that, well, there's a few reasons. One, that's when it was released last year. 2, Samsung, OnePlus and Xiaomi will be releasing their flagship phones globally at that point as well. So OPPO will follow suit. And then of course there's the price. And we're getting to the specs. Don't worry, I'm going to discuss the specs and put some rumours out the window. But price-wise, it's not going to change. If you want to buy a Chinese ROM version, you're going to be able to pick up the 0.5 terabyte version for around about £800 to £850. And trust me, that is a fantastic price. I still have the X7 Ultra on the Average Dad Tech Store, and I think you can pick up the 0.5 terabyte for around about £700. Again, I recommend this phone to so many people. I'll be getting another one to do a comparison with the X8 Ultra. So if we can get the Chinese one for around £850, I would imagine that I will be able to source the global and stock it for about £999 to £1,049. Now that's through me, and that'll be the Hong Kong global version. So it is the global version, just as if you buy from OPPO UK or Europe. However, it's a bit better because it will include a UK charging plug and a case. If you want to buy from OPPO Direct, I think the price will be closer to the £1,250 mark. And that's going off the OPPO X8 Pro being £1,050. That sounds weird to say. £1,050 on the OPPO UK site without a plug in a case. So there's the kind of stuff that you don't have to be a genius to work out. You can always just follow last year's release schedule and pricing to work out that. What I do want to discuss though is the specifications of the device. Let's start with the obvious. It's going to be a 6.8 inch Quad HD display, 510 to 515 ppi, round about there. The display is going to be class leading, 120 Hz, LTPO, 1 Hz all the way up to 120 Hz. That we can be 100% guaranteed of. OPPO will not give a 165 Hz refresh rate, because why would they? They don't need to. It's not a gaming phone. It's not what people are asking for. And as you could probably assume, design-wise, it's going to look very similar to the X7 Ultra. However, where the X7 Ultra was more curved, this will be like what seems to be all flagship phones of 2024, squared off edges. Yes, it'll have a near flat display, much akin to the OPPO X8 Pro. And of course, on the rear, you're going to have a massive centered circular camera bump with 4 cameras, and we'll talk about them in a second. But I do just want to discuss OPPO because, without doubt, in my Phone of the Year video coming in a few days, I am going to shout out OPPO for their design, because I have decided that the OPPO X7 Ultra in that black colour with the stitching down the middle and the vegan leather, then the gunmetal grey up top, it's the best designed phone, and I'm delighted to hear that there will be a vegan leather option and 2 or 3 different colours on the Ultra variants as well. Really, really happy to hear that. And then again, fairly obvious, internally it will have the latest Snapdragon Elite chip. Interestingly, bit of a tangent here, OPPO and Vivo and a couple of other manufacturers use MediaTek Dimensity for their standard to even Pro devices. Look at the X200 Pro, look at the OPPO X8 Pro. Why is it when it comes to the Ultra variants, like the X100 Ultra, like the soon-to-be released X8 Ultra, why do they use Snapdragon Elite? Clearly they're using MediaTek because they cost less, but the performance is meant to be the same, if not better in some aspects. I'm always a bit suspicious of the top tier versions getting Snapdragon. That to me means that Snapdragon must be the best. But anyway, that's a tangent. We don't have to go down in this video. Other rumours, which I can basically confirm. The battery size. The X7 Ultra was a 5400 mAh battery, I believe. Stats from the top of my head. So many stats from all these phones this year. The X8 Pro is 5850, so there's no reason to believe that the X8 Ultra, with its slightly bigger body, that we won't get the full 6000 mAh battery. And it will be 80 to 100 watts wire charging with 50 to 80 watts proprietary wireless charging built in as well. So much like the Asus ROG phone I have with a 5800 mAh battery and the Snapdragon Elite chip, you are going to get 2 days from the X8 Ultra with no issues at all. And then now, you've been waiting very patiently, so I'm going to discuss the cameras. Thank the Lord, it's a quad camera setup. And I talked about this in a video last year. To be an ultra device, in my opinion, it has to have 4 lenses. While the X100 Ultra still probably has the best camera setup, the fact that it's missing the quad lens and it's only triple really irks me. Because there is absolutely space for a 3x optical and a 5x optical. And when I say space, I mean there's a need for it. There are certain portrait situations there, it just comes in handy to have 2 options. And then with the OPPO X8 Ultra, because you're getting quad lenses, you are not sacrificing anything. You're going to get the latest Sony LYT900 sensor on the main. It's going to be a 1-inch type sensor, much like on the X7 Ultra. But the other lenses will get another upgrade as well. Year on year, things just get incrementally better. So while there's still a 3x optical and a 6x optical zoom lens, the actual sensors themselves are slightly bigger, letting in slightly more light, meaning that your zoom shots look sharper and better. But again, please look back at the OPPO X7 review, I'll link it down below. The photos are already incredible. And then the ultrawide's also getting some love, 50 megapixel, 1/1.9 inch. It's going to be absolutely flagship, one of the best ultrawide angles out there. Now this is the point where obviously the rumours go wild. Cameras, people love to talk about cameras. People are talking about a 1-inch sensor on the main ultrawide and telephoto. That's not happening. It's not going to get a 200 megapixel telephoto like the Honor and the Vivo. And it's also, sadly, not going to get a 3x optical and a 10x optical. Or in some cases, some people are saying 7x optical. I don't know the science behind it. I'm just unsure if 7x, I guess it is possible. It just seems like 7's never been done before. But I am hedging my bets and quietly confident that 3x optical and 6x optical will be the 2 focal lengths. Now, rewatching my own X7 review, a couple of other things that I want to cover is the haptics. Yes, I know we're getting a bit geeky here, but the haptics on OPPO devices improve like year on year. The OPPO X8 Pro has fantastic haptics. When you're typing on the keyboard, when you're playing games, there's a specific game mode as well you'll use, and you'll have it on the Ultra. And then the speakers as well. The speakers are going to sound fantastic, not to the level of my ROG 9 Pro, but certainly better than anything Samsung will give you on their phones. Now, is there a feature that you feel is missing? What could OPPO do better or add to make the X8 Ultra a no-brainer? Because in my opinion, if I'm building the perfect candy bar phone, it's pretty much the X7 Ultra, so in turn the X8 Ultra. I'm not sure what else I could ask for. It's got the biggest and brightest screen, 5000 nits by the way. It's got the quad lenses. Maybe I would like a 10x optical because I am a bit of a zoom rat. But other than that, I'm so excited to have the OPPO. And the biggest thing here for me is, while I will still buy the Chinese version, obviously, and while the workarounds are getting fewer and fewer month on month, owning a Chinese ROM has never been easier. It's still nice to have that global reassurance, because I will be doing a lot of traveling in 2025, and having a global phone with full Google Pay and all the other smart switch stuff comes in quite handy. Even I can admit that. So, I promised I would mention about the giveaway again. If you don't know already, as I mentioned, I am giving away a phone from the Average Dad Tech Store. Now, a lot of people have signed up to become members over the past couple of weeks, and I appreciate every single one of you. The other thing people are doing is buying me beers. So on Buy Me a Coffee, I've called it a beer on there, but you can log in and you can buy me a beer or 2 or 3 or even 5. While I absolutely appreciate that and I love it, because you're only buying beers, you're not signing up to the monthly membership. And what that means to me is, I don't see your name. For the draw, of the smartphone winner, I am taking the names from the exported Excel sheet from Buy Me a Coffee and YouTube. That'll give me all the members, the monthly paying members. And from there, I'll do a random generator. You'll see it in a video, and it's going to randomly pick a name. If you're buying beers, or if you are no longer still signed up, so if you signed up to Buy Me a Coffee a few months ago and you've not renewed, while I am fine with that, that is okay. I'm not telling you have to. But if you want to be included for the phone giveaway, it's important you make sure that your membership is up to date and you actually have that membership. I'm sorry, I just want to make it clear because I don't want people to miss out and think that they're in the draw when they're not. So, I'll be doing that draw on December 1st. And I will also be doing the phone of the year. Now, I've got the obvious categories, but I want to be a bit different. So tell me in the comments, what categories would you like to see from Average Dad's Phone of the Year 2024? Let me know. I promise I will take your feedback on board and I will include the categories where possible. What do you want to see? I have reviewed somewhere in the vicinity of 70 or 80 phones this year. Well, I say reviewed. I've had them, I've not got round to reviewing them all. So I've got a lot of experience with these phones and I know what I like. I'm intrigued to know what you like. So that's it. Your OPPO X8 Ultra leaks, rumours, my thoughts and educated guesses. But again, if you've got your own educated guesses, please leave them in the comments. And until next time.